welcome back. Welcome back to Circle Zero. I am your host, Dixon Jowers, and man, what a fantastic day yesterday was. Not only was it in the low 70s with a slight breeze, clear skies, and the fountain of Fountain Hills blowing for everybody to see, the golf was mostly good, some really good, some not so good. We definitely had examples of the good and the bad and the ugly yesterday. So let's dig in and see what happened to those incredible cards that we got to watch yesterday. Let's take a look at our lead card, how they fared, and what that looks like going into today's action. So we'll start with the good. Eagle was awesome. Eagle was awesome. Simon, I learned a new German phrase. You ready? In Brand geraten. I think that means he was on fire. It could be that he started a fire. I'm not exactly sure how the verb tense works, but that's my best guess. Simon was incredible yesterday. He had 14 birdies and 4 pars. Check out these statistics. 94% in the fairway, 94% circle 2 in regulation, and we talked yesterday about how important that statistic is. 100% circle 1 putts, 50% circle 2 putts, and 6 of his 14 birdies were within 15 or 16 feet. Park jobs essentially for this guy. So it wasn't just that he was driving good, it wasn't just that he was putting good, it's that all of those things were stacked on top of each other. And he did get a tad bit of luck on hole 11. Do you remember this kick from yesterday? It's always good when you go from almost certain bogey to park job birdie. Like I said before, Eagle was doing fantastic. He actually had the same amount of birdies as Simon, but he stacked 2 bogeys on top of those. The other round that was on fire yesterday belonged to Mr. Nate Sexton. You remember I said Simon had 6 birdie park jobs? Well, Nate did a little bit better. He had 8 birdies that were 16 feet or less, and that's what helped him to this 100% circle 1 status. If you want good scores, kids, put your drives close and do not miss the putts. So that's 3 of the guys that are on our lead card, along with James Conrad, who kind of had just a normal round as far as the rest of the competition goes yesterday. But because we had some people dropping, that moved James up to the top card. Now, for the bad yesterday. Oh, brother. Nico was on the lead card, and he had a fantastic round going. But then he got to the back 9 at Fountain. And you'll hear a lot of people talk about get a few birdies on the front, stay away from the OBs, and then attack the back. There's all the birdies on the back. Well, so far this week, on the back 9 at Fountain, Nico has gone 3 under and even. That's right. Yesterday he was even on the back 9. I had to go down to the 58th place person to find somebody that shot worse on the back 9 than Nico. Are you ready for this? He missed 7 putts inside of circle 1. 7. That is unacceptable for somebody that holds himself to the standard that Nico does. I saw him out practicing hardcore as soon as the round got done yesterday. He will be back, but man, yesterday was a beating. If Nico's 7 missed putts was a surprise, how about this statistic? Ricky Wysocki, 2-time world champ, colloquially known as the best putter to ever live. 9 missed circle 1 putts. Can you believe that? 9 missed circle 1 putts, including 2 3-putts inside of the circle. And then maybe the story of yesterday was Paul Macbeth. He had just kind of okay first 2 rounds, yet still found himself in the lead, and everybody was waiting for him to turn the afterburners on. Well, he headed out to Fountain and had 5 OB strokes. Paul seemed off yesterday. Not only did he have 5 OBs, now hardly any of these were drastic out of bounds. They seemed to just kind of flop over the edge a couple of different times. But even his birdies, half of them were 27 feet or longer, so he was grinding for just about everything that he had to do yesterday. Now, the problem with where Paul's sitting right now, yes, he's the top of the second card, but he's 7 shots behind Simon. Everybody in front of Paul right now had a fantastic round out at Vista on Thursday. That's Paul's problem. This tournament is Simon's to win because he's only got 1 chaser, and that's Eagle. Eagle is within 2 strokes. If Simon throws a good round, Eagle is the only one that's going to catch him. Simon is going to have to do something bad to let anybody else come and take this title away from him. Do you remember back in 2013 when Paul shot his 39? He started that round 6 shots back of the leader. Do you think he can do 7? Do you think Simon's going to coast? Do you think Eagle is going to go back-to-back? Do you think somebody that we're not even talking about is going to make the charge out at Vista on Saturday afternoon? The story on the FPO side yesterday was about the same. You had Paige extending her lead. Remember, she was tied with Katrina going into the round? She left with a 5-stroke lead on the field. And if looking at the round, you see what's kind of played out over the last couple of years. You've got a group of really great golfers, and then you've got one that has been playing lately head and shoulders better than the rest. Jennifer and Jessica both had solid rounds, 1 under on the front, 1 under on the back. However, Paige, during that same stretch, she was 3 under on the front and 3 under on the back. She's just able to take strokes away from her competitor. She was 3 under on the front and 3 under on the back. She's just able to take strokes away from her competitors. She finished with 5 straight birdies to take her 5-stroke lead out to a 7-stroke lead and give her an enormous cushion going into today's round. Will Paige be able to finish out this back-to-back Memorial Championships? Let's tune in and see. This has been Circle Zero with Dixon Jowers. Let's watch some live disc golf.
Hey, Nate Doss here. People ask all the time, what are your 3 favorite discs? I'm here to show you. First, my putter, a Discraft Nate Doss Rubber Blend Challenger. Awesome putter. Mid-range, gotta be the Buzz. This is a Tour Series Nate Doss Buzz. And third but not least, a driver, a Z-Force. Now, it might not be for everybody. If you got some arm speed, you're young, you're ready to go, Z-Force is just for you. Head out to your local retailer, pick one up, check them out. I know you're gonna love them.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flashlight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
What did you do before you started playing disc golf? I mean, you're an athletic guy. We've played basketball. We've done some other things together. What sort of athletic endeavors? What kind of got your juices going before disc golf?
Well, when I first started playing disc golf, I was really into golf. I've golfed, 4 or 5 times a week. I skateboarded also. I was involved with a lot of basketball leagues, stuff like that, volleyball leagues. I mean, like you said, just athletics in general really is what I've been about pretty much my whole life.
So were you like a skateboard, like an X Games, like shredder guy, or did you just drive down the sidewalk?
No, I love skateboarding. My brother's actually a professional BMXer, and back in the day was, I could probably say he was the best dirt jumper, like BMX in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And so I used to go to, watch him compete tournaments and stuff, and instead of riding a bike like him, I decided to pick up skateboard.
durability, stability.
In Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And so I used to go to watch him compete in tournaments and stuff, and instead of riding a bike like him, I decided to pick up skateboarding, and I got pretty competitive into that for a while, and it was just a way for me and my brother to really kind of connect and me hang out with him.
Okay. So, when you were a kid, people say, hey, I want to be a fireman, I want to be an astronaut. Like, what was your thing? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Something to do with athletics. I didn't know what. I just knew that I knew from a real young age that I was going to be some sort of professional athlete for sure.
Okay. So, as far as your professional career goes, you've been kind of on the scene and traveling for several years now. As a matter of fact, you were at the beginning of the birth of Prodigy. You were in on the ground floor there, and there's been a couple different iterations of where people's contracts at Prodigy have run out, and they've had the option to re-sign or look for different sponsorship. This offseason, you were kind of one of the big free agents, and so you had that opportunity to leave, but you decided to stick with Prodigy. What was it about them that drew you back? What did you want to be a part of that they were doing?
There's a lot of things. I mean, loyalty is one thing, and I feel like that word gets tossed around a little loosely. As a professional athlete, your loyalty is to your career, you know what I mean? But there is something to that at the same time, to where if I'm getting offered something from another company and it's similar to what I'm getting offered Prodigy, I'm going to stay, like you said, I've been there since the beginning, and one of the main reasons, honestly, is I love my bag. I don't think I've been this comfortable with a bag even before, when I've been sponsored by Discraft, Innova, now Prodigy for the last 5 years, and I was with Innova for 4 years, and I wasn't as comfortable as I am now. And I feel like I'm close to winning a major, and so for me to get up and switch would be a big time career choice, and that's not something that I'm willing to do.
Sure. For your age, you seem to be pretty wise, pretty mature, and you're looking down the road, kind of past your disc golf career, more than some of your competitors are. So how do you, with the financial side of the disc golf tour right now, I mean, outside of probably Ricky and Paul, nobody's buying houses and cars and things like that with all of their winnings. So how do you balance having a good time and enjoying this, plus also making sure that you're saving money and preparing for your life ahead?
Well, one thing that I do want to hit on, especially for the younger kids listening, is you're right. It's not all candy canes and lollipops out here. It gets stressful, and there are very few success stories. There really is. It's a grind, and luckily I was one of them, to where I've had a pretty successful career. One thing I want to say is you can, it takes a long time to earn a good reputation. It takes like 1 second to ruin it. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I've really focused on, is not burning bridges and, being respectful, because you can't make it out here by yourself. You need a lot of help from a lot of people. You need help from people putting you up, the tournament directors. And so, with the new generation, just be wise, like you said, and pick your battles, because you never know when that person, whoever it is you're picking that battle with, is running the world championships or doing this or doing something to where your fate's kind of in their hands. So that's one thing that I've really focused on, is just being really respectful to everybody in the game, trying to be. And as far as my future, my future is disc golf. Like, I have no doubt that this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life, really. And it's our job at the level that I'm playing at right now to make sure that it keeps growing for people in the future too. So, I like to hang out with my family as much as possible. That's another thing, like being on the road. I have nieces and nephews that I barely know. I'm constantly on the road, and so when I'm home, I want to spend as much time as possible with them. Okay. Which isn't a lot.
Sure. As far as on the tour,
mm-hmm.
who's your favorite person to play around with? Who's your favorite person that's on the tour, like off the course? Who do you enjoy hanging out with?
That's a good question. I think my favorite people to play with, I love playing with Nate Doss. Just his professionalism and things that he brings to the court on the course. I feel like he's helped me a lot in in like the way that I act and things like that. So I really enjoy playing with him because he can bring a competitive side to the course, along with rooting you on and stuff. He's the type of player that when he beats you, he wants you to be playing well. You know, he's not like complete grinders. Off the course, you know, my best friend right now is Jeremy Colling. He's been my best friend for a long time.
You say right now?
Yeah.
Something changing?
No. At any point, something can change with that guy. So we gotta keep. We definitely gotta keep. I gotta keep a close eye on that one.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
What's up, guys? This is Will Schustrick, 3-time United States Disc Golf Champion. We are at Vista del Camino Disc Golf Course. Hole 10, 651-foot par 4. Hole 10 plays as one of the easier par 4s across the entire Vista del Camino course. There is a little bit of out of bounds on the left-hand side of the fairway. If you fade off to the left, if you're a right-hand player and you fade off to the left over the granite or end up in the lake, you are out of bounds. It's fairly easy to get to the basket if you do go out of bounds on that left-hand side, so it's nothing to where anybody will take any more than a bogey across the entire hole. You see a lot of players go for the big roller off the tee pad because there's no out of bounds on the right-hand side across that tree line. It's very difficult to get to the basket and get a birdie, but they're going to take that miss off the tee pad because there is no out of bounds over there. You see a lot of players sometimes even go with the mid-range, going from left to right and fading towards the center of the fairway. Try to get about 340 feet off the tee because the upshot is fairly easy if you have a short sidearm, or you can approach the basket with some type of mid-range or putter just as you did off the tee pad. Hole 10 will not be a make or break across the entire round for any player, but it's great to pick up an easy birdie on one of the easier par 4s across the entire Vista del Camino course. Thanks for watching this Course Cuts with Prodigy Course Design.
Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth and final round at the 2018 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. I'm your host Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and I'm joined by Nate Doss. Nate, it's Championship Saturday. We're at the Memorial. We're also at Vista with a huge gallery. What's in store today?
Well, T-Mobile, I think it's a great day. It's absolutely perfect out here. It's perfect disc golf weather. Slight breeze. We just had a little headwind hit us on hole 1, but it's totally dead stop now. So I think it's going to be a great day. Honestly, this is what the players live for. We were here a week early practicing, preparing for this moment. These guys are ready to go. I'm excited to see how this day goes on. It's really great to be here at Vista, where I think there's a little bit more play that can happen. So I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, yesterday we saw Paul McBeth open the third round with the lead, and by the end of the day we find him on top of the second card, and the hot shooter Simon Lizotte pulled in a 14 under par, and now he's sitting with a 2-stroke advantage over his good travel buddy and friend and teammate Eagle McMahon. Who wants it more?
Well, I think, we heard Simon yesterday in the post-round interview really mention the fact that he's had the lead at this tournament multiple times. So really, I think Simon last night was probably a little bit, thinking a little bit. I don't know how well he slept. I hope he got some good sleep. But, Eagle McMahon is there to take it if he wants it. I think he's prepared as well. But it's going to be interesting to see if any of the guys, maybe Paul Macbeth, maybe Nate Sexton can do anything. But really, it's the Simons to win.
All right. I hear Chris Cobb on the call. Let's get to the action. Final round right now.
If your phones aren't on mute or off, please do so now. On top of the lead card, Simon Lizotte.
Simon Lizotte opens with a forehand that's playing to the right side heel. We'll see if it skips and rolls back for him. And it's doing exactly that. The question is, where is it going to sit? And is he going to have all the same good luck he had yesterday?
Wow, the disc was actually, it looked like it was rolling towards the basket. It was rolling a little bit away. Again, a little bit of Simon Lizotte love for the start. Awesome. Crowd is awesome out here today. People are just excited.
Eagle with a mid-range right up the middle. And he'll putt from there. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, he's parked. That's exactly what he was looking to do right there.
Sexton.
And climbing up. He said he was in 65th earlier in the week, shooting 25 under over the last 2 rounds. Nate Sexton, third to tee. Sexton goes with a Firebird. He just needed to stop. He's got the distance. We'll see if he gets any rolls like Simon. Looks like that'll work fine for him. And James Conrad to round off our lead card.
James Conrad.
No purer thrower in the game than James Conrad. Paige Pierce started with a 7-stroke advantage. Let's check in with the women on hole 1.
Thanks for joining us as Paige Pierce is in the lead, moving into final day with a 7-stroke advantage. In her comfort zone, right up the middle, Paige Pierce parking hole number 1 to get the day started. Jennifer Allen sits 7 strokes back and misses the mandatory. That's going to be an automatic re-tee, and she's going to fall behind. Jessica Weiss backhand up the gut, a long putt for birdie. Fakis keeping it low, playing the skip. It flares out. Not much of a look from that left side. The tree is in the way. Jennifer Allen's got a re-tee. There's a big gallery watching. Keeps it low, hits near the basket, skips way deep. She's going to play it back and walk away with a double bogey. Paige Pierce, on the other hand, picking up 3 strokes on Allen. Will move to 2. Paige with 8 strokes.
And Simon picks up where he left off yesterday. Solid putt. Little knee knocker to get started, but with confidence, Simon's in.
He exactly needed that putt to go do just what it did. I'm a little bit surprised even with the sidearm off the tee. I think for the people back home, I think he threw his sidearm because he's really worried about distance control. It's a quite easy hole for a backhand mid-range, just as Eagle did, and so did James Conrad. But Nate Sexton's a sidearm player, so that doesn't surprise us. But that sidearm from Simon,
you know, just a little bit surprising right here on hole 1. Let's see if Nate can do what he does best and make putts.
And Nate starting out with a great confidence boost. That should keep him on track. Moving over to hole 2. Eagle, very short putt. As expected, Eagle, and it looks like we're going to open with a star frame. I know we'll talk about it quite a bit, but these first 5 holes, lots of birdies. You really got to pick them up, because if you don't, you're falling way behind. And Conrad completes the star frame. We'll see you on hole 2.
Oh hey, are you guys looking for a disc that flies pretty straight? I would recommend the Avenger SS. I really like this disc because it's a nice straight fairway driver. What I would recommend for anybody looking for a nice straight drive is a disc that's slightly understable, where you can throw it out at a hyzer flip, let it fly, but it's still gonna come back. If you try and throw anything that's overstable, you're gonna have to crank it too hard, and now you're going against that whole straight flight that you're looking for. So if you're looking for that nice straight driver right out of the box, give the Avenger SS a try.
Nate, I'm feeling a little bit of a headwind as they're teeing off here on hole number 2.
It definitely is. Wow, ace run, but actually I had a little bit of speed. We've seen now Simon, he's going to have 2 knee knocker putts to start this round. But yeah, wind meter presented by Nate Doss. Definitely a headwind, probably about 8 to 10 miles an hour. These players, it's going to be in their head a little bit.
And you could tell Eagle's going much lower with his hyzer, but it skips up near the pin. He'll have a putt from there. He's looking at a good birdie.
Yeah, now we've seen 2 shots on this hole, kind of 2 different routes as well. They're both probably right near the circle's edge. One thing that we wanted to talk about in the opening is how important these first 5 holes are. These guys need to start off with 2s. We saw them do a star frame on the first. Let's see if they can follow it up on the second.
Very different approach here. We're going to see the forehand by Nate Sexton. Of course, no surprise, as we know Nate is so proficient with that forehand.
So far, it's looking like we're going to see some putts on this second basket. I don't think any of them are parked just yet. Again, I want to mention this course is really the tale of 3 different 6s. We have this first 6 going into the headwind, it looks like. We're going to go to the back 6, and then we're going to come down to the stretch. So it's going to be interesting to see how each one of these different 6s play out.
I'm guessing that's a fairway driver by James Conrad. We'll see how much ground play it gets, and skips next to the basket. We'll see you on 2.
Paige Pierce gets the lone birdie on hole number 1. And that's an early misfire. Paige plays it off the tree on the left side. She's going to have a circle 2 putt, maybe even circle 3 from way left. Jessica Weiss with the forehand and just the right amount of power. She's inside circle 1, looking at 33 feet. Lisa needed that wider with more power. You can play the ground skip out here. The grass is short. And Jen Allen's got the hyzer route, trying to just take all the trees out of play. Plays the hillside right to the pin. That should be an easy tap in. And Paige from outside circle to draws metal. Her jumper looks on. And Weiss takes her first birdie of the round. She's going to need plenty more if she wants to catch Paige Pierce.
An eagle right into the heart of the chains. He was just inside circle's edge. Great birdie putt. The rest of the competitors also inside the circle.
A little bit more insight into this. If Simon makes this putt, had he started with 2 park jobs, it might have been not as worthy as making 2 putts early on in the round. So this is actually a really good start for Simon. He made that putt look easy, but honestly, if he parked the first 2 holes, he might not have been able to break that pressure that he was feeling. So great start for both those 2.
Sexton with an unforced error there, high left chain. Quite surprised by that.
Yeah, you could tell he just didn't look comfortable actually over the putt, probably thinking a little bit too much. Had he just stepped up and putted it, I think it would have went right in the heart. See if James can make his putt.
And there you have it. We're 7 for 8 through the first 2 holes. We'll see you in a few moments from hole number 3.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Steve Dodge. This is the Next Generation Tour.
If you didn't take the Next Gen Tour seriously, you definitely should come in future years because it's only going to get better.
Yeah, man. Let's do this, guys.
They're up-and-coming superstars.
Go to a local level, then you qualify for your regional level, and you qualify for a national level. The prizes get bigger, and the pressure gets tougher.
I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was a really, really good time.
Simon Lizotte going with the big righty hyzer. That's really the most logical play here. And it looks like he didn't give it quite enough. He's obviously close for the putt, but surprised to see him come up on the right side of that basket.
Just for the fans back home, holes 2, 3, and 4, basically exactly the same shot. Simon put a little bit more angle on that coming into the ground and didn't skip at all. I think he's going to be happy with where that landed.
And the contrast, yet again, we saw Simon go with more angle, as you just mentioned. Eagle, on the other hand, a lower, more direct route. Flirted with that OB culvert area, though.
He actually hit the pole of that culvert, the sort of, protecting poles there on that culvert. We've seen that happen many times. I think he's a bit lucky that it didn't go back into it. He's going to be outside the circle for a birdie putt, but advantage Simon here.
James Conrad, what an interesting play to see him go more direct. Usually, as you said, just big hyzer's the route. Does that surprise you, Nate?
It doesn't really in the sense that the big hyzer is the route for the most part, but actually in practice, me and Josh Anthon talked about that turnover, and he really liked that play. Again, it's all what fits the eye of the player.
Sexton's forehand has a great angle. We'll see if it's got enough speed. We'll see how the women did on 3 earlier today.
Jennifer Allen and Paige Pierce with birdies on 2. Hole number 3 plays very similar to the previous hole with a little bit more distance. The culvert on the right side is OB, and Weiss pulls hers hard to the left. And if Jennifer can throw the same shot she threw on 2, she'll have a putt, and she does right here on hole 3. That should be a birdie for Jen Allen. And Paige plays this straight shot with the skip at 360 feet. She's next to the pin. And Lisa flares out for the 3rd time in 3 holes. Not much of a birdie look from there. Jen Allen lets that one slip by. That's a short one that she's going to want back later. She'll tap in. She's going to have to settle for the par.
Eagle with almost 45 feet. Splashes the right side chain. He needed just a little bit hyzer on that.
That was a very good run by Eagle, almost saving what happened, hitting that pole. He just off the tee went a little bit too low, but good effort by him. It'll be interesting, you know, playing with these guys a lot. Eagle's quite a quick player. We'll see how much he moves around as we get going to see how comfortable he feels. But Simon Lizotte looks very comfortable right now, smiling. He's into what he's doing. James Conrad, that pretty hair. Make this putt, James.
And James Conrad, low left corner pocket. That's a birdie. He's 3 for 3 to get started. Simon matches and extends his lead now to 3 strokes over Eagle McMahon.
As I said, very comfortable. Nate Sexton with CTP.
That easy, folks. It's 3 for 4 on hole number 3. We'll be back with you guys in a few moments. Simon's hanging this wide. That looks a little too wide. He might find the OB. And he's done just that. An unforced error by Simon Lizotte. He went over the OB wall. What does that mean for us, Nate?
First chink in the armor, unfortunately. That was not what he was looking to do. In fact, that was the same disc that he had thrown in the previous 2 shots. As I mentioned, all 3 of the holes, 2, 3, and 4, exactly the same throw for the most part. Simon just got too much power on that, and it went long OB. For the perspective from at home, folks, that came out very strange. A lot of hyzer inside, and he's OB left. We've seen 2 shots on this hole, both of them OB. Folks, this hole is not that difficult. In the air, this looks great from Nate Sexton. As long as it has some good ground play, it should be fine. All right. Folks, the headwind is actually affecting these players a little bit more than we anticipated. That was a little bit short. The wall saved him, but Nate will have a putt. This is a big moment for Eagle early in the round. Try to take advantage of his playing competitor making an early mistake. After the two low shots we saw from Eagle, this one's much higher. Inbounds, he's going to have a birdie putt. Let's move on. Let's see what the ladies have to do on this hole.
Paige Pierce, the best score out of all women competitors through 3 holes. She's got 2 of the 3 birdies. And she's going to go wide here on hole number 4. And, comes up short of the basket, giving everyone a little excitement. Weiss opts for the backhand. It turns over on her. It actually goes off to the right side. That's going to be up in a tree. 2-meter rule is in effect. Weiss has to take the knee. She's going to play it out and around, and not enough power. She's got a little more work to do to save the bogey. She's 40 feet and short. That's a double bogey for Jessica Weiss, stopping her momentum. But Paige Pierce, no problem. She's now 3 down through 4 holes. Plenty of confidence for Pierce.
Simon Lizotte will confirm with his card mates as to where he was last in bounds. Of course, we'd like to thank Grip 6 for your partnership here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We'll see if Lizotte can possibly save a par here. He's looking at 75 feet or more. He gave that a good aggressive run just over the basket. He wanted to give it a chance.
Yeah, he did. The thing we're going to look at now is that he actually has a putt that's going to be a little bit of a tester coming back for his bogey. We have seen people over the years make big putts from up there. Not today for Simon. James Conrad was also out of bounds here on the left side.
Conrad for par. Oh, and he did a stutter step, Nate. He thought it was in halfway, but then he's like, should I wait? Oh, yeah, I'll run this down.
From what I saw, James didn't even think that wasn't doing anything but going in. Amazing putt by James Conrad. The crowd appreciating it, giving him a nice round of applause. As you can see, folks, Nate Sexton is taking his meter, so he has that marked out with his feet. He's typically a straddle putter, so this shouldn't be an issue for him.
Again, left corner pocket and around our Discraft Chainstar Pro. Eagle McMahon can pick up a stroke here. Finds himself closest to the pin. He's inside the circle, about 25 feet.
Well, this would actually be picking up 2 strokes, T-Dog, even though he did lose a stroke on the last hole.
And a missed opportunity for sure by McMahon.
While the pressure is building, it's not surprising to see him miss that putt. It's very difficult when you know you have the opportunity.
He still will get one, as you said, over Simon Lizotte as Lizotte walks away with the bogey. We'll see you guys from hole number 5 in just a few moments.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
And Nate Sexton with the honors. He asked for the crowd to move back as he was taking the forehand hyzer route out and around, just past the basket to the elevated pin. You gotta love that one.
That was a perfect shot by Nate Sexton. For everybody, again, watching at home, there is a mandatory on the pine tree on the right side. So it used to be a big hyzer. We used to just throw out and around that tree. I like the implementation of the mandatory on this hole. Really makes the players be able to have some distance control. Looks like James Conrad has a driver, or maybe mid-range.
I believe that's the same mid we saw on hole number 1.
Wind meter telling us that the breeze just died for James right as he teed. Distance control is perfect on that. Great shot by James. Sidearm in the air for Eagle, a little bit on the right side. He dug nicely. Interesting to watch these players. Nobody has one thing that they stick to. They're all so good at so many things. That was amazing to see the different variety of shots. Simon with a mid-range right up the middle.
That is floating to the basket with grace. Let's see how the women did earlier on 5.
And Pierce with an 11-stroke advantage, sitting 3 down through 4. The next best score on the card is even par. And Pierce with a light turnover that flips up, finishes left side. The one tree on that left side might be in her way. There's a mandatory here, so everyone's concerned about staying left. That's too far left, though, for Allen. She says there's a lot of space. There is. And Fakis challenging the mandatory. That's a good-looking shot for Fakis. Jessica Weiss plays the light turn, and if that hooks up, she's going to be looking at a birdie putt. Elevated pin here to the Chainstar Pro. And Pierce proves she's human. She misses a putt. She's going to have to settle for the par. Meanwhile, Weiss gives it a run as well. Everybody.
Oh, and Lizotte hits right side chain. Just a little bit too much on that right side. Doesn't pull it in.
While we do see an elevated basket on this hole, it's not something that the players think a whole lot about. Just a little bit of an added challenge. That was a very nice putt by Simon, just a little on the right side. See if Eagle can take advantage. A lot going through his mind right now. Good for Eagle. That's what we wanted to see.
Great seeing both Sexton and Eagle's lines here taking the mandatory out of play. I thought that was very interesting with the forehand tee shots. Just when I thought James Conrad couldn't get any cooler, he put on a pair of shades.
I was just about to mention that, T-Dog. He has some beautiful hair. He's now got the glasses on. He looks cool and calm. He's such a great person. If you haven't met James Conrad, go by, say hi to him, get a signature. He's a great guy. Nate Sexton, CTP.
Again. And Simon will be left out of the birdie party. We're moving on to the first par 4. Hole 6, we'll see you in a moment. No surprise here to see Nate Sexton laying down the roller. The question is it going to push and come back? And that does not have enough legs to get back all the way in bounds. And no, Nate Sexton, OB, you talked about this 2 days ago. You said you didn't think that the roller had enough payoff here. And Nate Sexton is going to get bit by that roller.
Sweet tea, we just saw the fact that the roller is just not worth it, in my opinion. They all have enough arm to throw the nice, just through the middle, little S shot and get plenty of distance on this hole. Again, we've gotten through the first 5 holes, quite a few birdies. Now we really get to the par 4s on this course.
James Conrad needs to stay out of it, and he fights through. What a drive. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Every one of these players can throw that shot or just about any other shot. So it's really surprising to see these rollers because it brings the OB into play so much more.
While Nate Sexton is a great roller of the disc, I just don't see the value in it. Eagle lining up for a sidearm, yet again showing us how powerful he is off both sides.
And he makes it look so effortless. He's going to flirt with that tree, gets through it. And that's a great shot by Eagle McMahon. If he wants, he could go with another forehand from there, or he could go hyzer. He's got options. He's in the open.
This is a big moment for Simon. These next few holes are really going to tell us how this round's going to turn out.
And Simon with not enough airtime on that. Let's check in with the women on the par 4 earlier today.
Through 5 holes, Madison Walker, Ellen Widboom, and Paige Pierce, the only 3 under par. This long par 4 sets up great for our big arms, Jennifer Allen and Paige Pierce. Hole 6, 783 feet. There's OB on that left side, only if you get a big skip. That one brought down Allen's at least 100 feet short. Fake is safe, up the middle, exactly where you want to play this one. Jessica goes back to her trusty forehand and puts herself in great position out in the center of the fairway with lots of options, both backhand and forehand. And Jen Allen giving herself the full 30 centimeters and then some. Throws a huge turnover shot. Just like the previous 5 or 6 drives by Fakis, low, straight, and up the middle. Jessica's turnover forehand is fighting back toward the fairway, and she's dissecting this hole perfectly. Paige Pierce had the long drive. She's going to go up the right side. Low hyzer skip. Let's get back to the men as they throw their approaches.
Sexton brings it in the 1 meter. He'll be throwing 3 from here.
Nate's put himself in a very difficult position. He's pretty far back, and now he's throwing for 3. It's going to be, again, at home, when you think about taking aggressive shots, really think about it. I don't think Nate needed to do this. But if I had somebody rolling my disc, I would want it to be Nate Sexton. It just happened to not have enough angle on it.
Nate switches over to the backhand. He's hoping to play the skip. The problem is he's going to flirt with the OB again, and he barely catches back inside the wall. I think Nate was collectively holding his breath along with everyone else here in the gallery.
You know, sometimes the best shots are the ones that flirt on the edge, and that was just that, T-Dog. Crowd loving that shot. Nice for Nate to really, he played it low, which is actually what he needed to do, even though it did flirt with these couple of trees.
Eagle McMahon, power hyzer, trying to get past the last tree before the basket, and he's done just that. The gallery loves it.
So a couple of days ago, Terry, we saw that these players had a lot going on. We saw a lot of OBs. I think Nico LaCastro going out of bounds twice on this hole. But so far, we've seen these players play it very well. They're looking... Simon, so to give the people at home a perspective, Simon has an interesting shot here. Looks like he's going to play low, below the tree, right in front of him. Which he's done. That's a driver, so he's going to get some ground play, but he hit that last tree. All he had to do was beat that.
James Conrad will be fourth to throw his approach shot. He's about the same distance as Simon Lizotte was. After James Conrad throws, we'll see how the women completed hole number 6.
It's an interesting juxtaposition when we get to hole 6, because we go from playing from the tee to putting to all of a sudden having to play second shots into the greens, understanding how far those shots are. It's something that the players just have to make a slight adjustment, but they're doing it so far pretty well. Besides Simon, see if James can throw that purple mid-range. We're just watching it in the air. It looks pretty good.
Let's check back in with the women as they complete 6.
We've got third shots by all 4 of our women. And Fakis loves the angle, but the tree stops her. That's just about circle's edge. We'll see if she can save it as Jen Allen goes with the standstill, playing the wide hyzer, gets the skip. She's just trying to card the par. Weiss's third shot. Standstill forehand, very effective. She's got closest to the pin. Paige, the only woman with a birdie look, and gets a little aggressive. Up and over the basket. She's got a 30-foot comebacker. And Fakis saves the par. Great putt by Lisa.
And Simon essentially just laying up to the pin. He doesn't really have a good angle of actually making that shot. As we move on to the green, a few moments ago we heard one of the neighboring dogs out here barking pretty loud. Seems like it doesn't like the gallery as it comes about. You may be seeing or hearing that very dog with the women's coverage as Paige Pierce was lining up her par putt. Great concentration by Pierce.
Okay, so yeah, we're up here at the green, and we can actually see that everybody's pretty parked for the most part. Nate Sexton's disc skipped right up to the basket as we thought. One thing to mention here, Eagle is parked, and this will make him tied with Simon after 6 holes.
Oh my gosh, and just as James Conrad was watching that fall out, someone from the gallery said, yeah, as in, good putt, and it looked pretty good. But from our angle, maybe it was a little left.
Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit left side. It had a solid hit, but, you know, it's just, that's a part of the game, Terry. We get a little misses here and there.
And as you said, Eagle McMahon ties up Simon Lizotte, erasing the 2-stroke deficit. We've got a 16-mile walk. We'll see you on hole 7.
Juxtaposition at 16-mile walk. Yeah.
Tempercraft, USA. Double wall, 18/8 stainless steel construction, keeps it cold while you're hot, keeps it hot while you're cold. Get your customized growlers, tumblers, and sports bottles. With a lifetime warranty and 1% back to the planet. Tempercraft, USA. Temper your thirst.
Welcome back to hole number 7 after a lengthy walk. Lengthy walk that also gives someone like Simon Lizotte to think about how that 2-stroke lead has been already erased in the first 6 holes. We definitely have a battle upon us. A few moments ago when I was taking a look at the UDisc live scoring, one of the things that shocked me most, Paul McBeth at that time had dropped 7 spots down to 12th place and was sitting at even par for the day. So very interested to see that Paul McBeth not making a charge here. He was on the top of that second card. He would have had to shoot a record-breaking round to compete with these guys, but Paul McBeth, seemingly he's also picked up where he left off yesterday, which is a struggle.
Yeah, we can't really go too much of the broadcast without talking about the 4-time world champion. Interesting. I think that might be a little bit of a mental thing. I hope there's nothing physically wrong with him. Did look like he just wasn't finishing his shots as well as we are used to with him. But the guys are now getting ready to play. The crowd is getting into position. I want to mention something, just because we are commentating this, Terry, we have to tell the fans what we see. Simon Lizotte is sitting over at the picnic table, just looking a little bit dejected. I saw him on his cell phone. That means maybe he's trying to keep his mind off of it. But Eagle is locked in, and let's just see if he can continue on with what he's been doing.
At a little more than 600 feet, in fact, almost 650 feet, I'd sure love to see an Eagle on this hole. Like McMahon or anyone else for that matter.
Eagle has that perfect name for stuff like that, huh? Tea kettle. But yeah, I want to mention again, I keep saying that, but we are on the second six of these three very definitive sixes. We have an alarm going off now, Nate's going to hold off. But we do have three very definitive sixes here. This grouping of 6 holes is so different from the other two. It can really, the person who handles all 3 of those sixes is going to be the one who wins. But right now, Eagle is showing that he's ready for it. Simon just needs to dig down deep, know that he is still the leader of this tournament, and step up.
And Nate Sexton's asking for it to skip forever. He does get at least 6 to 8 skips out of that, a little lower than he was hoping for. You talked about how these 3 sets of 6s set up. In the next 6 holes, we're going to see 3 par 4s and a par 3.5. So you're right, this is the meat of the course that we're coming into. Here's James Conrad. James Conrad gets that to flip up. We're feeling a little bit stiffer wind come at us, and that is great position. Simon Lizotte is geared up. This thing's going big.
I want to hope that Simon can just stay restrained here. He just needs a good shot. This is no more than a 3 on this hole. He doesn't need too much. And I think he's done just that, Terry. I think he's done exactly what he needed to do in this position.
Let's check in with the women as they challenge the par 4.
Paige Pierce's lead is still at 11 as she sits 3 down through the first 6. After a long walk, we go to the par 4, hole number 7. And Paige Pierce able to unload a bomb here. That is as good of a drive as you could ask for here on this long par 4. Coming in 645 feet. Jennifer Allen wants to take advantage of the distance, but pushing up on that left side is going to make things tough. Lisa Fakis low, up the middle. She doesn't want to push too far left, and exactly where you'd expect her. Center fairway, Lisa Fakis setting up nicely. Jessica Weiss, backhand, stands up, turns over, fades back. Also perfect placement. All 4 women looking to dial in for the birdie here on hole 7. Lisa hangs that one out just a bit wide. She's safe, and they'll have a long look. Not really birdie position, though. And a very smooth backhand. Jessica Weiss next to the pin. Less than 10 feet for birdie. Jen Allen's going to take the shortcut up the left side, throws it too hard, goes over the cart path. She's going to be out of bounds.
Sexton taking the shortcut with his comfortable forehand, and he plays it right up next to the pin.
As we've talked about, Terry, this hole is really one of those holes that you must 3. This is a par 4, so that's a birdie, but this hole just, the way it plays, it never seems to play very difficult. And of course, our 2 leaders over here on the left are within a foot of each other. I think, Terry, I'd like to call this guy the long-haired Gumby, the good guy from Tennessee, or Virginia, excuse me, James Conrad, just the nicest guy. I can't say enough about him. I think he's more like Gumby. He's got those long arms. He's wearing a green shirt today.
like to see a return of the shades personally. And he's pushing that just past the pin to the elevated basket. He'll be fine from there. And how funny to see two of the longest throwers on the planet, Eagle McMahon, Simon Lizotte, landing no more than 18 inches from one another. That's cute.
It is. They seem to be so kindred in so many different ways.
Who's going to have CTP after their approaches? That's the question.
That is the big question. Simon taking a little bit of a skip. He'll be just fine there. I want to mention to the fans at home that as we were walking up the fairway, we had a humongous gust of wind. So I don't know if we're going to see more of that as we continue on this middle six. But that could be something that could really affect things with these over-the-water shots.
And unlike Lizotte, we see Eagle play the forehand skip, and it looks like he's gone a little bit deeper. So Lizotte has the advantage. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor. Oh, and Eagle just a bit short. He had the line, needed about 5% more power to get it up and over the edge of the cage.
As we walked up to the green, we did notice that he was outside the circle. Simon now just inside the circle. Wind in his face, coming from the right.
Boom. Simon takes the lead back here on hole number 7.
A little bit of an opening by Eagle there, and Simon takes advantage. He looks to be okay at this moment, but again, we'll see how things move forward.
And not like James Conrad, one of the best putters in the game. Very surprising to see him not take advantage of that short birdie putt. Eagle will be tapping in for his par 4. Nate, we watched 3 out of the 4 women birdie this during the round here on the men's lead card. 2 out of 4 birdies. Women are better. We're moving on to hole number 8.
In so many ways.
you know, the way I sort of think about it, like you get in the lead and there's a part of you that wants to be like, oh shoot, I'm in the lead, this makes me nervous. But I usually just sort of think like, do I envy anyone else in the field? You know, like, sure, it's pressure to be in the lead, but would I rather be in 10th? No, I mean, whatever, you know, so you don't really have a choice. So at that point, then I can kind of just sort of breathe and relax about it, because I'm happy that I played well enough to get to where I am. Just because you're in the lead doesn't guarantee you anything. You just want to go out and stick to your guns and just see if you can come out on top.
The only time that I adjust my play based on scores is like probably, I would say, 6 holes to go in a final round. I don't think about it starting off on tee ever, because so much can happen, especially with disc golf. We have so much OB out of bounds, and it just, you could have a 3-stroke swing at any given moment, even on a hole that's you think is a birdie hole. I mean, the way discs come into the baskets and roll, it's just, you literally cannot give up until the last putt's in. And so I feel like even if I have a 2-stroke lead, I still am playing conservative, but, you know, aggressive when I feel that I can.
Welcome back. We are here at hole number 8. This, of course, Championship Saturday at the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. I'm your host, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. Also on the mic with me is my good pal, Nate Doss, watching Nate Sexton with a 4-hand tee shot here on hole number 8. What do you think of this plate?
Well, it's looking low right now. Is that going to get up? And it just gets up and actually gets inside the circle. The blue Power Ranger, Nate Sexton, got a little lucky there. We're going to see a hyzer by Simon. The wind meter, powered by Nate Doss TNT, is a little bit of a tailwind for these guys, so I'm not surprised to see the hyzer. The hyzer really helps with distance control on this shot.
And that comes just past the basket. He sticks the landing. And Simon Lizotte inside 15 feet looking at a birdie. Eagle McMahon lining up a 4-hand. We'll see if he keeps it low like we just saw from Nate Sexton. I think he wants to give himself a little bit more breathing room. Sexton, as you said, just skipping off the grass, barely making it over the water. This has more height to it, and it has great power and also within 15 feet.
With a shot like this, over water, downhill with a tailwind, distance control becomes the most key factor to this. I think we've seen them throw high-speed discs, but with more angle. James Conrad, we're actually standing at the basket area. I can't tell if it's that purple mid-range he's been throwing, but Gumby's going to give it a launch over the water. I have to mention it's the first water shot of the day.
And he's got a little bit of a turn and slips just outside circle's edge. Let's see how the women performed on hole 8.
Hole 8's my favorite on the course, and Paige Pierce sits with an 11-stroke lead. She's 4 down for the round through 7 holes. And she's got a mid-range that's turned over. It's fighting through the trees, but finds the OB. A mistake by Pierce. Jessica Weiss, backhand. It's got a great angle. Let's see if the speed is on, and it is. Jessica Weiss inside the circle, hunting for a birdie on hole 8. Lisa Fakis gonna play it wide. She's going with the conservative layup. I like the play. That's gonna all but guarantee a 3 by taking out wide. And Jen Allen, she needs to turn this over. It's gonna challenge the tree. It hits it and somehow stops inbounds. She's gonna be safe. Paige can save the par with a long jumper, but instead she's gonna walk off hole 8 with a bogey, and Jessica Weiss will pick up 2 on her with the lone birdie here on hole 8. Another water carry coming up on 9.
As our players are making their way, Nate and I are going to actually get out of their line of sight. James Conrad would have otherwise been putting right at Nate and I. Do everything to minimize the distraction here. Conrad just outside circle's edge.
Missing that short putt on the last hole, he's going to want to make this. In his mind, he's absolutely thinking, I have to make this, especially with that short missed putt. It's funny, when players miss putts, they always want to come back with a make on the next one. Otherwise, they're just thinking too much. If James can release all that tension, just let this one fly and make it, he should be back on track.
And as you said, James Conrad back on track. Nate Sexton will be next to putt. He is just inside circle's edge.
So again, this was that short sidearm. I want to mention, this is where all of the fans really come and gather at this point. If they're watching the holes behind or here, great crowd. The pressure is on. These players love this, though, now. We're used to playing in front of big crowds, and we really get up for it.
Smooth release by Nate Sexton. This is lining up to be another star frame. Trust that Simon Lizotte has this one. And Simon is the third birdie here on hole 8. Eagle McMahon closest to the pin. Should be completing our star frame from less than 15. And he's done just that. We'll see you on the tee of 9 in a few moments.
This is Dan, and this is Tyler. Dan and Tyler like disc, and they like beer, so they combine them in a rigorous scientific process. Disc Golf, a card game that challenges your disc skills, drinking ability, and your friendships. With 3 categories and over 50 individual cards, mix and match. Get rid of cards you don't like, or make your own rules. Disc Golf is truly American.
Hey everybody, it's Valerie Jenkins, and I get asked a lot what's in my bag, and so I want to show you my 3 favorites. I got the Jawbreaker Roach, the Z Meteor, and the Valerie Jenkins Tour Series Z Thrasher. Go out and try something new today. You're gonna like these discs.
And everybody birdies hole number 8. No movement on this lead card, but Nate Sexton putting a pretty good move on that forehand, playing out over the water. I think we're going to see a very different approach here by Simon Lizotte.
No question about it. You know, the thing is, we talked about this the other day. The mistake that these players make is when they overturn it, and they can go out of bounds on the right side. Simon taking the smart play here. I'm really happy for Simon to see him making that decision. I think that shows he wants to win this tournament, Terry.
As you said, if you play for the turnover and try and attack the pin, you run the risk of it not coming back and then finding it OB past the sidewalk. Simon's going to take all of that out of play, just going with the hyzer. Eagle can be very aggressive with his forehand. I like this play. We'll see if it pays off. And what a rifle out of Eagle.
He just makes it seem so easy. A little bit shorter than we saw him throw the other day, as we did get to see these players play this hole a few days ago. Heading into this back corner, we're nearly a mile away from where we started this round. It's a long walk. Endurance is important. It's a little bit warm out here, but we are heading into the 4 most difficult holes as a compilation of 4 holes of the entire course. James Conrad taking a huge run up here. He's going for the pin. See if he can entertain us.
And he's turned it over, as you were saying. The question is it stable enough to come back? People are waving it in. James Conrad's drive is out, and it comes back in. What a drive. Let's see how the women did from the women's tee. All right.
James Conrad taking a huge run up here. He's going for the pin. See if he can entertain us.
And he's turned it over, as you were saying. The question is it stable enough to come back? People are waving it in. James Conrad's drive is out, and it comes back in. What a drive.
9-stroke advantage for Pierce. It was cut by 2 by Jessica Weiss on the previous hole. But Lisa Fakis is going to go low and up the middle here on hole 9. This is the ladies' tee. Still has water and sidewalk in play, but Paige says, I don't want to mess with the water. I'm going to take the big wide hyzer out and around. She puts it up. It's fading toward the pin. Is it going to be safe? It is. And she'll have a long look at birdie. Lisa Fakis from outside circle 1. Count it. She turns, gives herself the clap. That's going to skip into birdie town. Solid putt by Fakis. Paige says, I can do it as well. They walk away with birdies. The other 2 take pars. We're moving into the back 9.
Nice. That's awesome.
I think there's an a cappella boys to men group possibly behind us, Nate.
Somebody's having some fun back there. He's enjoying the nice afternoon here on Saturday. The players are not even paying attention to it. Nate does what we would expect, nestles it right in there. For those of you back home, that shot James Conrad through was amazing. The crowd loving it, giving him a big cheer. He got it high enough to where the turnover really wasn't a factor. Simon nestling it in, again, smart. His closest competitor is going to have to do the exact same thing. This is going to be a push for this hole, which is kind of what we expected, honestly, back at the tee.
Anytime you can see this hole go at par, maybe a stroke below, that's going to be all bonus action. This hole plays as the most difficult hole according to par, playing at nearly 3.5. You just really don't want to give away any strokes here. Take your 3, move on. Maybe you pick up the bonus if you're a stud like Conrad. But otherwise, pick up and move on. A 3 is perfectly fine here.
I think we all agree that the 3 is just fine. James Conrad showing us that that is not the case. I would put money that he makes this.
And this lead card will play hole number 9, 1 under par. That is very impressive.
Wonderful crowd here, giving James a big boost. He's happy, smiling. 3 pars for the other 3 guys. Again, not that we're surprised about that. But of course, sometimes it's just nice to have somebody like James give us a little bit of a show.
We've got back-to-back par 4s coming up on 10 and 11. We'll see you in a few moments.
Yeah, bro.
Nate, as we stand about 100 feet from where the players are throwing, we're moved up the fairway here on hole number 10. I'm not sure they can feel it, but there is a little bit of a headwind coming at us that's dipping in and out on us.
Definitely. Knowing James is going to go for the big shot here. Not sure how he's actually playing this since we didn't see him throw it on Thursday, but it is a slight headwind. Let's see how it affects the shot. And James with a huge turn. We'll see where that's going to come down and what kind of roll he'll get out of it. That's not going to come back out. And James Conrad, OB here on the tee of hole 10. We saw this a lot on Thursday, Terry. Shots that looked like they were air shots or rollers, we didn't really know. Not sure if the headwind. I'm imagining that he was trying to throw a roller, just didn't get it over enough. Maybe we can ask him as we're walking up the fairway.
I don't know if that's such a good idea, Nate. I've learned not to second guess our top players.
True that, T-Hog. I usually get mad when you talk to me, so. Here goes the blue Power Ranger, Nate Sexton. He's going to play the low shot. I can almost guarantee it. Roller.
You said the roll shot. Is that what you guaranteed?
Well, I was saying the low roller. This is exactly where Nate excels. He's a great roller player. Looks like he may be off that tree line just enough. I can all but guarantee we'll see a forehand from that spot as well. Certainly.
And Simon Lizotte committing to the roller. I love the angle. This is a monster drive, and the groans get louder. What a shot by Simon. That's exactly what you'd love to do when you have the power of Simon Lizotte. Let's see how Eagle can answer that call.
No question that was a roller, Hunty. But yeah, he actually missed the gazebo out there, the picnic area, which is incredible that he got that far. At this position, too, with so much pressure. Even bigger, this roller. Does it have the angle, Terry? That's going to be the big question.
It does. It's trying to match Lizotte's. The question is it going to finish right or left? It's fighting, and he's moving the gallery aside. And a massive crush by McMahon. Let's check in with the women on 10.
The question would be is if he goes into that picnic area.
Hole number 10, the first of two back-to-back par 4s, and Paige is back to a 10-stroke advantage. Lisa, another drive, low and perfectly in the middle of the fairway. That's great position for Fakis. Paige says, I can play a little aggressive. I'm going to go big turnover roller. The problem is that fades to the right, and that's going to give you a really awkward stance. Maybe not even a line to the basket from that tree line. And Wies's forehand is on the wrong angle, fights to the tree line on the right, and Jen Allen, huge advantage. She's going to go out and around everything with the big turnover. She goes with the standstill patent pending for the approach and sticks it in the tree. That's our second 2-meter of the round, and Paige can't fight through the low-hanging branches. They're both struggling. That's going to roll out for her. Let's catch up on the putts.
Incredible that he got that far. At this position, too, with so much pressure. Even bigger, this roller. Does it have the angle, Terry? That's going to be the big question.
It does. It's trying to match Lizotte's. The question is it going to finish right or left? It's fighting, and he's moving the gallery aside. And a massive crush by McMahon. Let's check in with the women on 10.
The question would be is if he goes into that picnic.
Sexton from one knee with the forehand. Great speed, great angle. He should be pretty happy with that. He'll have a look at the birdie.
Nate made that look easy. That was actually kind of a tricky shot. He had to get under that branch. James, again, making his 1-meter mark with his feet. Making sure he's happy with the lie.
figured he'd just pull out a strand of hair to measure 1 meter.
That's a good point. But, you know, again, this isn't the worst thing. This is a little, to me, this is different than back on hole 6 where we see a mistake, because par here really is not horrible. Of course, Simon and Eagle showed us that throwing a huge roller is a big payoff.
Oh, and James finds a tree no more than 75 feet in front of him. Let's see how the women wrapped up here on 10.
Paige Pierce is throwing her 3rd shot on the par 4, and a little too much stability for her. She's going to leave herself a short putt as Jen Allen is throwing from underneath her OB stroke. Oh, and Pierce with a rare miss. She's been dialed today. She's giving one back. Jen Allen's going to give one back after the penalty stroke in the tree. The other 2 bogey. Another par 4's coming.
And James Conrad, like his teammate Jennifer Allen, having some struggles here on hole number 10. Meanwhile, we're walking up to Simon Lizotte, who has yet to throw his 2nd shot, and Eagles is even further. Maybe we could get a huge eagle out of this. Can Lizotte wow us with a huge putt? Oh, on line, just a bit short.
If I was a player in this group, I would tell you right now that those 2 shots that those 2 players threw are telling us that nerves are not going to be a factor for the rest of this round. I feel like they're freeing up, they're loosening up through 9 holes. We have 9 more to go. Well, 8.5, I guess, T-Dog.
And Eagle was really inhibited by one of those low-hanging branches. Couldn't give it the run that Simon could. They're both going to have to settle for tap-in birdies, which really no one's complaining about.
No, Teaspoon. They're not complaining whatsoever. We're having a little fun out here. It's just so amazing to be here in March. This beautiful weather. The players are just putting on a show. The crowd is huge wherever you are in the world right now. We're so glad you're paying attention, watching disc golf. This is a game we love, T-Dog, and these players are pushing the game to new places, especially with Simon and Eagle, 2 superstars.
James Conrad doesn't want to see hole number 10 until next February. He's ready to be done as we see a pair of tap-ins from the Discmania twins. We'll move over to hole 11. We'll see you there after a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, I'm Keith Murray, Tournament Director of the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We're at Spinners on the Green in Scottsdale, Arizona. I just want to welcome everybody here to town. Good luck this week. Come by and see us at the shop. We got 10% off for all tournament competitors and even the folks coming out to watch. So check us out online as well, spinnersonthegreen.com, and have fun watching Smashbox TV.
everybody, it's Valerie Jenkins, and I get asked a lot what's in my bag, and so I want to show you my 3 favorites. I got the Jawbreaker Roach, the Z Meteor, and the Valerie Jenkins Tour Series Z Thrasher. Go out and try something new today. You're gonna like these discs.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
And your 2017 USDGC champion, Nate Sexton, backhand off the tee here on hole number 11. Looks to be in pretty good position. As we know, he's so proficient both forehand and backhand. He's got plenty of options from there.
He just always keeps himself under so much control. He should be able to throw a sidearm from there. Of course, Nate having the double back and sidearm.
And Simon Lizotte's going to try and take off as much as he can. That little wind lift certainly helped him. You're trying to fight to the flat part of the fairway, and that looks pretty good. He might have to contend with that tree, but that's a long way up there.
Yeah, he really stayed aggressive out over that. There's an OB sidewalk on the right side. Those rocks are OB. He barely missed those, but of course it doesn't matter if he barely misses them or if he misses them by a lot. He's inbounds. He's looking at a birdie opportunity. See if Eagle can match. At this point, this is a 2-man game at the moment.
Eagles with a little bit more air, and I think we're going to see a nearly identical result when it finishes. He's on that right center side, but he's in great position.
He leaves himself actually in a little bit of a better position because now he has more area to work a shot up to the basket. We're standing right in front of the scoreboard. Nate Sexton is not giving up. He's not going anywhere at this moment. He is still locked in. Who knows what can happen with still a few water shots left on the course tee. James Conrad lining up again. A long run up.
Fun fact, Nate, the only person on tour, or not, is Johnny V, who needs a longer run up. He needs an entire runway. We'll see how the women did from the ladies' tee.
Hole 11 features a ladies' tee at 543 feet. The par 4 still has OB sidewalk on the right, along with water on the left side and sidewalk, all playing OB. Ficus, low, center, in the middle. I sound like a broken record. And Paige Pierce says, I'll go right up the gut, and I'll add an extra 50 feet. Jessica Weiss plays the hyzer. It's fading back. You'd love to be on the flat ground, and that's where she finishes. Jen Allen has a distance advantage, but pulls it, yanks it up into the air, and finds the out of bounds, unforced air by Allen. Allen makes a few mistakes here, and they're costing her and the bad luck on the previous 2-meter penalty. Ficus leaves herself a long look at a birdie, and Weiss nearly puts it in for eagle. Page reaches back, beautiful standstill, and underneath the pin, that should be a tap in. Ficus gets hot with the putter. Great putts on 9 and 11 for birdie. The rest, birdies. Jen Allen falls back with the bogey.
And like we saw on hole number 5, Nate Sexton trying to push the gallery back just a little bit. He's going to be playing the left to right forehand shot here. Just wants to make sure that there's no way even an errant shot could possibly find anyone in the gallery.
I think it's smart of him to do. There's no reason to push it. I mean, get him out of the way. Make sure that you feel comfortable when you're ready to throw. When he feels comfortable, he's ready to go.
Sexton's forehand is fighting toward the hillside and somehow hits the light post, and he's lucky that it stays safe. I think that was tracking right toward the basket, and Nate knows that's just a really unfortunate break for him.
While it was in the air, Terry, I was going to say the only thing that could happen is that he could hit that post, and he did, but it stayed in bounds. He still has a putt. Nate needs to just forget about it, move on to thinking about making that putt right now. It's the only thing he should be thinking about.
Conrad's going to try and take it out of play. He's going out and around with a turnover. The wind sets up nicely, and James Conrad putting himself right on the green. He's on the dance floor. Nate, a moment ago you mentioned something about a post. I'd like to follow that up and say we'd like for you to go out and post this on Facebook. Let everyone know you're watching a live stream right now taking place for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, the opening event in 2018. We're in beautiful sunny Scottsdale, Arizona for the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. It does not get any better for when you're opening up a season. We've got a great battle with Eagle McMahon trying to stay on pace with his good buddy Simon Lizotte. He's one stroke off the lead. This is Eagle's approach. That looks great, Nate.
It does. It has a little bit of speed. Let's see how the speed is. And that's going to be long. That's going to be circle's edge, if not outside on the long side. And what happens is when you start getting nervous and the moments start getting tight, you end up actually throwing a little bit farther than you anticipate. Distance control is so important in these moments. I have to say that when these players get into a final group in the final round, we talked about it in the opening, this is what it's all about. They are loving this. It's exciting for them.
Little flip up forehand, and that's come up just short, but very makeable putt for Lizotte. As we move down the fairway, Nate, we've got to talk just a little bit. We're going to recap. You're here in a very unfortunate circumstance in that you had to withdraw from the event. I know a lot of love and support has come in from all around the country and around the world. Of course, we're very saddened to hear that you're suffering from a shoulder injury that you feel like you've had for a few months. You wanted to fight through it, being the competitor that you are, but it was just a little too much for you this week.
Yeah, as the days have gone on, people have asked me how I'm doing, and just so that everybody knows, I'm fine. I'm actually really happy to be here. I'm so glad that I decided to not continue to play. Injuries are something that can plague athletes. If you're out there and you have an injury, do not play through it. Figure out how to make it better. I've already been working on a plan. I've had people reach out to me. I'm going to get back. I'm going to get stronger. But right now, this is an interesting moment for me, Terry. I'm here. I'm watching my friends play disc golf at the highest level, and it's really actually very exciting for me to be here. Nate Sexton, a good friend, actually a great friend. We have a lot of things in common, more than people know, besides just our names and our ages. But it's really interesting because I'm a competitor. I want to be there playing against these guys. But it's also awesome to see them competing and to stand on the outside in and see how they deal with the pressure.
Sexton not fazed by the light post, still carding the birdie. That was a great putt.
As I said, and I think we're good here. We're actually in Eagle's line a little bit, but he's not even seeing us. As I said, Nate had to forget about that pole, take the left, and he nails the putt. Let's see if Eagle can keep pace with Simon and put maybe a little bit pressure on Simon on his putt.
And that just really didn't look like a good stroke out of Eagle's hands. That was wide to the right. He didn't draw any metal. It was a very makeable distance. Was he feeling a little bit of nerves there?
What that was to me is he tried to feed the disc into the basket. He tried to think that he could just put that putt on the line and it would go in. He needed to just do what he does. Ooh, and this is a big, big, big surprise.
What did we just see? Simon airballs from half the distance where we just saw Eagle McMahon miss from. What is going on?
Interesting, Terry. They both did the same thing. They tried to feed the disc into the basket instead of just doing what they've been doing all week, which is just right there. If you guys notice at home, the difference between those two putts was noticeable. Simon just tried to feed it in on that first one, and that second one, he just popped it right into those chains.
Well, like these guys, every time I say feed me, that leads to trouble, and we're seeing it here on hole number 11. They'll both walk away with the pars. Meanwhile, Nate Sexton, along with James Conrad, both taking birdies. You wouldn't expect that on such a long hole when they have such an advantage.
That was big for Nate.
We're moving on to 12.
That was actually huge.
Hey, Nate Doss here. People ask all the time, what are your 3 favorite discs? I'm here to show you. First, my putter, a Discraft Nate Doss Rubber Blend Challenger. Awesome putter. Mid-range, gotta be the Buzz. This is a Tour Series Nate Doss Buzz. And third but not least, a driver, a Z-Force. Now, it might not be for everybody. If you got some arm speed, you're young, you're ready to go, Z-Force is just for you. Head out to your local retailer, pick one up, check them out. I know you're gonna love them.
All of the momentum for Nate Sexton right now. He has the tee, and he's thrown it inbounds. That's exactly what he needed to do. Pro wind meter presented by Nate Doss. The wind is a direct headwind for these guys. Nate, it wasn't a big factor for him since he threw a stable disc. James has got that purple mid-range out. I want to mention that when you play near water, the cold body of water, the warm air, it usually accentuates the wind a little bit more. So that's what these players are feeling. But James has got that mid-range. He needs to keep it elevated. Otherwise, that little headwind might drop it into those rocks. Those rocks are OB in this situation.
Nate, if you start bringing barometric pressure into this conversation, I might start challenging you on that. Meanwhile, we'll see if Conrad, and he challenges the wall and comes up short. That is a critical mistake there by James Conrad.
I'm a professional disc golfer and an amateur weatherman, T-Dog. I always want to know what the weather's doing. Unfortunately for James, that just wasn't enough disc, and I think that headwind definitely affected. It started to spin out at the end. Eagle, actually, I think he might have gone back. They're looking at the rules, these two. We're not sure what they're concerned about. Maybe they're thinking about if James needs to throw again.
I think that's exactly what they're double checking as to where you would throw your next shot from, and if it states whether or not he must be the next person to throw. Do you throw from there, or where you were last inbounds, or do you go to a drop zone? I haven't looked at the caddy guide, but I'm pretty sure you would throw from where you were last inbounds for your second attempt, and if you were to go OB from there, then I think you must go to the drop zone. I believe that's how it's played, but again, I don't have the caddy book in front of me.
Yeah, Simon's on the tee now, but that was a great little bit of sportsmanship from these guys. They got together, they figured it out. They'll make the proper decision. Here goes Simon.
I'm worried that's flexing out,
yes,
and it is.
Me too.
Will it stay in bounds? And look at this.
Wow,
what in the world?
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Was that the die on the disc that completely baffled us? Did that look like it was going to hyzer out right into the middle of the lake?
We've been seeing Simon throw for 3 days now. We have not seen him throw that disc once. But in this case, it was the perfect shot, the perfect moment. What a throw.
I think that's a fair excuse. We haven't seen that disc before. Here is Eagle McMahon, forehand, clears the water. Now we'll see what James Conrad's move is from here. Again, we talked about it a few days ago. This water is at one of an all-time low for what we've seen during the tournament. And will James Conrad move all the way to the water's edge? I believe he will. Now, he's going to get at least 20 more feet from what you would normally see out here. Usually the water plays all the way up right to the embankment, and instead James is going to go out onto the edge and I think play it from there. Really, the question here is footing. You've got to make sure that's not footing that he's had all week long. A little wet, a little bit damp down there. Hopefully he has good footing to throw this very crucial second shot.
Of course, these are the best players in the world. James will make the adjustment, but it is interesting. This is the most unique ground play that he's going to have and deal with, but it's a little sandy. This shot is just a nice little easy hyzer for him. Put it on a line. He's got a little angle on it. Inbounds, nice shot from James.
We'll see if he walks across the water. We're moving on with the women.
Sarah Holcomb creeping onto that lead card as she's sitting at even par through 11 holes. Lisa is going to play wide right, nice and conservative, easily clearing the gunite. She's in bounds, and she'll have a long look. Her putter's been hot. Maybe she can connect. Pierce at 3/4 power. Jessica Weiss, no problems, plays to the fat part of the green. She doesn't like it. She could have been more aggressive to the pin. And Jen Allen pulls it high and doesn't throw it hard enough. This women's tee looks like she gets a great spot. She is on top. She must have crossed inbounds before remaining OB, and she's playing for the bogey 4. Meanwhile, Paige Pierce, another birdie. No one can stop her, and no one can catch her right now.
High left chain for Eagle McMahon, and that is going to distance one more stroke between him and Simon. That's huge.
Opening the door for Nate Sexton a bit. I want the people at home. I keep saying this. It's kind of my thing, but that wasn't a good putt. Probably people are going, that basket sucks. That was high left. Not even, it's not what Eagle's been doing. He's been putting it right into the chains every time. So this is a bit of a door opening for Nate Sexton, who's not giving up without a fight.
And Nate right into the center of the chains, as you mentioned. We'd expect that from him. One thing that has to be mentioned, besides each day warming up out here throughout the week, we're also feeling little to no wind at the moment. And that's not common to come out to Vista and have almost no wind for an entire round. There's been a few gusts, but not much.
No, I would say that wind is almost not even a factor. That's why we haven't talked more about the wind meter. But yeah, it's nice that the wind isn't blowing.
We've got a long walk. I think it's 17 miles back. We'll see you on hole 13.
Seppo, thanks for sitting down with us. Tell us how you got into disc golf.
I got into disc golf back in 2006 through a couple different ways. My dad's been playing frisbee sports since '79, so I have always had that connection in the frisbee. I have always known what's going on and stuff. But I got into playing myself from seeing that the sport is actually growing in Finland. There was an ad on News magazine, so I kind of knew that, okay, this is going on again. So I went to buy my own discs and started to play. And yeah, it's been going on since then a lot.
So you're also involved not just with Prodigy as a team player, but also on the business side of things. How did that come to be, and what are your roles in Prodigy Europe?
Well, as I said, I started to play back in 2006, and I always wanted to work also in the business. So as I got involved with Prodigy as a team player, my dad said that this is your opportunity, and me and my brothers, we started to talk with Prodigy, started conversations about us starting to distribute the products in Europe. So we started that in 2014, and we've been doing it now for 4 years. It's been really successful. And in the beginning, I was working as, I was doing all kinds of stuff, selling the products, anything, packing, selling, all, anything that, we need to do. And right now, though, I was doing all that for about 3 years, and now for about 1.5 years I've been playing mostly, because as I said, I worked really hard in the beginning, and then I kind of got like it was like too overwhelming for me. I was still really young, and I felt like I have a lot of potential as a player, so I told my parents and my family that I would rather right now focus on playing. So I've been for about 1.5 years now, been playing mostly.
So this will be the first time that you've come over to America for an extended period to tour. What brought that about this time?
Well, what I said, the reason is that I feel like I have a lot of potential, and while I was working for Prodigy Europe, I felt like I wanted to focus on playing disc golf on as high a level as possible, but I didn't have as much time to practice or anything like that. So it was frustrating because I couldn't really do either of those things, business or playing, all that good. So I decided that I'd rather try to play on the best level possible for me. So that's the reason.
So you've been to America to play disc golf at least one other time that we know of, because you had a very famous ace on a very famous disc golf video from the beach at Santa Cruz. So tell us, like, what was the experience like kind of in the moment, and then also what happened afterwards with people connecting with you and whatnot?
It was super hectic, I didn't really know what's gonna happen. I just knew that it's the final for the distance competition that there was before, so I just brought my all the distance discs that I had, and then when I went to the place where we had the showcase, it was only like about 400 feet, and then I had to go buy brand new discs from they had like a fly mart there. So I went to buy brand new discs, hadn't thrown them even one time, and
I did not know that.
Yeah, I hadn't thrown them one time. First one was actually one of the discs that I brought for distance, and it went way past, and then I pulled out one of the brand new discs and threw it straight in the basket, and it was just threw me in the air, and it was some of the best time of my life for sure, and really hectic, and for a few days I felt like a superstar.
So as much as you've been involved in disc golf, I mean, you started at an early age. Have you developed any passions outside of disc golf, since this has kind of been your thing? If we took disc golf away from you today, what would you put your mind to? Where would your thoughts go as to that's what I want to do?
Well, I used to play floorball. It's a European sport. We played a lot in Scandinavia and Sweden and Finland especially. It's Sweden's national sport actually. It's kind of like ice hockey, but you don't have all the skates and stuff. It's kind of like a lighter version of ice hockey, and that was my passion before disc golf, so I would probably be doing that or skateboarding, one of those two.
Okay, so what are your plans?
We're here on hole number 13. Nate Sexton with the honors.
Well, big skip. Is that going to sit down? And it does. It does stay in bounds. Knowing Nate, that will be a layup from there. I don't think he's going to have a birdie opportunity there, but maybe he can surprise us. I have to tell everybody that there's a lot of commotion going on, and these players don't even seem to notice it. So,
I would say in almost somewhat shocking fashion, this hole is playing .22 above par 3. And Simons is hung up by the tree. It does stay up on the platform. Shots like that somehow find a way to the water. So he's fortunate it didn't. Eagle McMahon's going to take a nearly identical approach.
In the bonus coverage a couple of days ago, we saw these players throwing the big hyzer. And Eagle actually got the birdie on this one last time, so let's see if he can do it again. There was some commotion right as he released. It's a bit higher than we would expect, but a lot of spike on it. And we know that just sat down. It's probably about 40-45 feet. So again, a lot of commotion going on. This is a very busy area of the park.
This is a fairway driver. He opts to go right up the middle. That stays nice and straight. He's going to get a little bit of a skip. What a great shot by James Conrad. Let's check in with the women on 13.
Pierce with an 11-stroke advantage, sitting 5 under for the round. Currently 11 strokes difference between her and Allen here just in round 4. And Pierce wants to give one back. Finds the OB. I'm surprised she doesn't go big hyzer. She can just eliminate the OB, play out and around the tree with the power she has. Jessica wants to flirt with the same tree, but sneaks through and is inbounds. Pierce forehand. She's going to nestle right next to the pin.
Hey, Tina's on it.
That should be an easy bogey for her. Paige, not a big fan of pars today. And Jessica Weiss puts herself near the pin. This is for her par. And the water must have scared her. It was not her best effort. She's got the comebacker and lets her mind lapse. That's a double bogey. Meanwhile, Paige Pierce, she's going to let everyone have a stroke back. Takes the bogey on 13, 5 to play.
I think a fair question to ask here on hole number 13, Nate, is with the addition of the mandatory here on this hole, is that what is making players go wider and higher more often? because you really don't want to come in low and possibly skip flare and miss the mandatory with a low up the middle shot.
I think you make a great point there.
Thank you. First one.
No, but honestly, this hole has just become so much more difficult. They've moved the basket back. One thing that we don't realize, maybe because we're not seeing all the players play, is Nate Sexton lays up just as we thought he might. And Eagle follows suit. Let's see if James Conrad wants to take a risk here or not. But it needs to be mentioned that this is actually quite a long hole. It's over 400 feet, and we haven't seen very many players go OB long. So it's just become, with the way these trees have grown up, it's become a lot more of a difficult hole. Here goes James Conrad lining it up. Looks like he is going to go for this putt.
He is definitely fully committed here. As I said, Conrad commits to going after the birdie. He ends up missing the putt. And he's going to bring himself. It looks like that did in fact carry. It was tough to tell from where we were standing, Nate. Looks like that's carried all the way to the water.
It's very difficult to tell. James did not react too much at all, but he did just shake his head. I do believe that ended up out of bounds, Terry. There's a little bit of, it's a little bit of a funny feeling in the group right now. Let's just get back to the next tee. We'll calm everything down. We only have 5 holes to go. It's getting exciting.
Oh, I'm full-blown excited. We'll see you over on 14.
Full-blown.
Hey everybody, it's Valerie Jenkins, and I get asked a lot what's in my bag, and so I want to show you my 3 favorites. I got the Jawbreaker Roach, the Z Meteor, and the Valerie Jenkins Tour Series Z Thrasher. Go out and try something new today. You're gonna like these discs.
Yeah, no, we were getting out of your way.
Welcome back as we are here on the tee of hole number 14. Still the tight battle that we've been talking about. I'm going to take a look at the scores. We'll have to check in with udisclive.com, see if anyone's able to make any kind of run at other positions here. Simon Lizotte with the 2-stroke advantage over Eagle McMahon. He's 3 ahead of Nate Sexton, and Paul Macbeth seemingly trying to make a little bit of a run here. He's not catching the leaders most likely, but he's making his crawl back up. We're seeing him at 6 under on the day. Wysocki sitting at 7 under on the day. And James Conrad's going to want to kick things into gear here. He's just 4 down, and he's falling off the lead card pace.
Disc in air for Nate Sexton. We talked about this the other day, how really this hole is quite basic. This is just a simple little hyzer. Don't do too much. Don't go too far left. Don't push it onto that mandatory. And then it's just a nice straight mid-range to the basket. Of the final 5 holes, this is actually one of the easier holes relative to par, I would imagine. The next hole that we're going to be coming up to is a long par 4, probably one of the most difficult it is the most difficult in the last 5 holes. So I think at this point, if Simon can survive the next few holes, this might be his.
and you've talked about it before, players like Eagle have to actually let off on this tee shot, because if they throw it too far, they may bring the OB or the Mando into play. So Eagle only giving that probably 70 to 80% power at most.
You got that correct, Terry. And James, also a big thrower. This doesn't look good, honestly. We have a bad angle on that, but that just doesn't look good. And it hits.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. It hits a water bottle, I believe, and stays OB. Let's check in with how Paige Pierce dissects hole 14.
Paige Pierce now with a 12-stroke advantage and no one in sight. Paige won in 2017 by 13 strokes. She's on pace for that right now. And a crush by Pierce finds her mid-fairway, almost up past the mandatory tree. And that's a simple putter approach. No one's going to play hole number 14 better than Pierce, putting it less than 12 feet from the pin. That is textbook disc golf at the highest level. Paige Pierce with the birdie and furthers her lead. We're moving on to another par 4.
You got that correct, Terry. And James, also a big thrower. This doesn't look good, honestly. We have a bad angle on that, but that just doesn't look good. And it hits.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. It hits a water bottle, I believe, and stays OB. Let's check in with how Paige. Nate, just a moment ago I mentioned how James Conrad seems to be falling off the pace just a little bit, and then to compound that, he hits the water bottle, which keeps him out of bounds. We don't know for sure if it would have came back in, but after hitting the water bottle, it stays OB.
I have to say that as a player, Terry, my heart rate is elevated at the moment. It's always difficult when something like that happens. I did mention when he released it, that was not a good shot by James, but he does not deserve to hit a water bottle and not get to see where this is going to finish.
And the struggle will continue as we're moving down the fairway here. James Conrad will take it in stride, as you can imagine, because he's just that kind of guy, but that is a little bit of a heartbreaker. Nobody is looking for that kind of a bad break out here, especially during the final round.
And in no way do we blame the spectator or the person who had that water bottle. The timing of that is unbelievable. But it does get our heart rates elevated. You know, we put our hearts and soul into this, and to not get to see your disc finish the way you think it might have, even though it was a bad shot.
Eagles played that high. Is that a little too much angle?
It's hard to tell. Let's see how the ground game is. Nope, it has some spike on it with a little rollout, but that's going to be just fine. Again, I always find it interesting, Terry, when I'm watching these groups. Sometimes when I'm playing, I don't notice what the players are doing. But over the last 3 days, I find it very interesting, some of the shots that they decide to play. Things in my mind that seem so simple and so obvious, they go ahead and just do the complete opposite. But again, that shows the youthfulness and the fact that they're willing to do something a little bit different than what we've done in the past. And it's working for them.
To quote our friends over at CNC Music Factory, things that make you go, definitely comes to mind. We're watching Nate Sexton's approach. Not much reaction from the gallery until a little later. We'll see if he can make his birdie from there. Simon Lizotte about the same distance, so not trying to take off too much on this tee shot. You've talked about controlled distance. Simon playing just that. He's going to want to match the shot that Eagle just had.
Yeah, this excitement that we're feeling is something that I think everybody in the crowd is feeling as well. Simon throws a very nice shot there. Each shot he throws, he's closer to the championship.
Simon has been so close throughout the years, mentioning that yesterday as we closed out the show, talking about how he's been in position for winning this event, and he's just never been able to close it. And on the, we'll say, a slightly different perspective, Paul Macbeth, who has dominated this event for so many years, has struggled over the last few rounds. He seems to be making a little bit of a late charge now, but I don't think it's going to be enough, even if he were to birdie out.
Well, TMZ, you know, when we have something to talk about on Tuesday or Wednesday on the podcast, I think we do have to talk a little bit about Paul Macbeth and his play early in the season. While he has been a factor, he just hasn't had that closing speed. But just to reiterate what you said about what Simon talked about yesterday, he knew that he had those opportunities. He knew the situation. He was under control, and I think he just really felt like this was the time, and he is in that opportunity right now. He just has to play his game and not let anything else affect him.
As James Conrad lofts up his putt, I'd also like to say that Paige Pierce has just been on a tear as we've been watching her throughout this round. She came in with a very comfortable lead and started out just birdieing left and right. Paige Pierce playing with confidence, having a good time out here today. And it's going to be impossible to catch Paige Pierce when she's on fire.
Boom, and that's exactly what he needed to do. He's just got that little walk to him. I want to give everybody the idea of what's going on in Simon's head right now. I can tell you from experience, nothing. He does not even see the fans. He doesn't notice anything. Right now, he's standing there thinking about the shot he's going to throw on the next tee. And Nate Sexton, uncharacteristically, even in this round, he's only missed one short putt on the second hole. That's just surprising. He was in a position to make a run at Eagle potentially. But yeah, Simon's just thinking right now, what am I going to do on the next hole? How is this all going to go down? He doesn't see anything else around.
And James Conrad lifts that one. The wind may have caught that slightly. It was also a high release. It skips off the top of the basket. And I was just thinking back to the unfortunate time James Conrad had on hole 10 and how he was challenged there left and right everywhere, and how James continues to struggle. Something I've really never seen out of James. He's such a solid and consistent player. Let's hope he regroups and makes his putt. And James is beside himself again. Very heartbreaking to see James breaking out onto the Disc Golf Pro Tour 3 years ago during our inaugural season, ultimately being the Rookie of the Year there as Eagle taps in for his birdie. James winning a Pro Tour stop last year at Idlewild. He's had his struggles today. Nate Sexton's going to settle for the par, and we'll see you guys on the next and final par 4 of the round.
I'm Ricky Wysocki, and I'm wondering who's going to be the next generation.
If you didn't take the Next Gen Tour seriously, you definitely should come in future years because it's only going to get better.
Yeah, man. Let's do this, guys.
They're up-and-coming superstars.
Go to a local level, then you qualify for your regional level, then you qualify for a national level. The prizes get bigger, and the pressure gets tougher.
I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was a really, really good time.
Hey, Nate Doss here. People ask all the time, what are your 3 favorite discs? I'm here to show you. First, my putter, a Discraft Nate Doss Rubber Blend Challenger. Awesome putter. Mid-range, gotta be the Buzz. This is a Tour Series Nate Doss Buzz. And third but not least, a driver, a Z-Force. Now, it might not be for everybody. If you got some arm speed, you're young, you're ready to go, Z-Force is just for you. Head out to your local retailer, pick one up, check them out. I know you're gonna love them.
back and live on hole number 15, just 4 to play, including this final par 4 of the round. Simon Lizotte is waiting for the gallery to get into place, and we've got to be thankful there is a large gallery out here in Scottsdale at the Vista del Camino course, located right off the edge of where Spinners on the Green and Duke's Sports Bar and Grill is. Huge shout out to Duke's for always playing live broadcasts. Simon Lizotte's ready to rip a shot.
If Simon cared what I thought, which he most likely, and he definitely does not care what Nate Doss thinks at this moment, I would have suggested that he throw a nice, easy shot in the middle. Again, proving me wrong.
Or throw a 600-foot roller.
That was awesome. We saw him the other day actually completely shank this drive, but today, in the biggest moment of right now, the early season for Simon Lizotte, he steps up, does exactly what we all expect him to do, put on a show.
And Eagle's hoping to match that. He wants the same angle. He'll take the same distance. And I think he's going to get just that. That's going to curl out. That's going to finish up and on the right side, most likely. And that will be a little bit...
It just goes back to the left.
Wow, did he just outdrive Simon?
He definitely did. And probably Simon would tell me after the round he played that one a little easy. But no, two great shots and two great players. No wonder they're leading the tournament. They make that look so easy.
We've said it before. Nate Sexton, one of the most proficient rollers out there. I think that's going to come out into the fairway and then curl up and finish in a perfectly fine spot. It's kind of hard to follow up Simon Eagle when they've just thrown those beautiful rollers.
You got that right. And after that missed putt on the last hole, Nate's probably in a little bit in his own head right now, feeling like he had an opportunity. That was a clincher roller. I think he got a little lucky the way that spun out. It could have easily went out of bounds, missed the mandatory. Here goes the big run-up from Gumby.
Yeah! He's got the turn, but that's hyzering out. He's either going to be OB or miss the Mando or both. We'll check back in with you with the women playing from the women's tees.
Yeah, interesting.
Holcomb and Katrina Allen trying to find themselves in the top 4 or 5 spots. Jennifer Allen falling off the pace. Hole 15 from the ladies' tee, provided by Paige Pierce. What a crush. Fakis, low, center. Gonna play the skip, and I like it. Jennifer Allen can take advantage of her distance. She's released high and tight the last few holes, causing OB strokes. This time she keeps it in the fairway and in bounds. Jessica Weiss knows she has plenty of room. There's no sense in keeping it tight. Fakis is going to play the skip, finding herself just inside the circle. Jessica also making quick work here of hole number 15. A jump putt for Jen Allen. That brings her within 20 feet. Paige can throw a jumper at it for Eagle. Everyone, birdies, they love hole 15.
James Conrad getting a spot here from the rest of the group as to whether or not he made passed the Mando or went out of bounds. It looks like he actually did move on the correct side of the Mando, but then went OB after that.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversation going on there, and the veteran Nate Sexton taking the lead on that, feeling confident that he knew exactly how to make that call. It's really kind of weird where the drop zone is. It puts James in a very nice position, actually moving forward after missing the mandatory. Need to talk to the course designer and tournament directors about that. That does not make any sense whatsoever.
Angle's critical here. It can get very slippery up near the green if it gets there, and almost no reaction whatsoever from the gallery. And in fact, it's out of bounds as we're seeing a bunch of people throw up their arms in an X formation, unless they're playing some goofy tic-tac-toe up in the gallery. I think he's OB.
Well, Terry, this is something that's funny because I usually question a lot of the things my competitors do, and when I'm now commentating, I'm very, very surprised about that shot. I don't think Nate needed to go up at all. I think he could have just played a very nice low little skip shot, and he'd probably be looking at birdie. So interesting decision by Nate. Again, maybe it leads back to that missed putt. Here goes James Conrad.
Conrad hits the gap he needs to, gets the skip he needs, and he's right there. He's looking at saving the par, and Nate, that really talks more about what you think in terms of where that drop zone is located. I think what you're saying is that it's just a little too forgiving, that if you miss the mandatory, you still have a relatively easy opportunity to get up and down and save the par.
Yeah, we just saw a situation where James actually was able to take advantage of of that drop zone. I just find it curious that you would be able to move 40 feet forward without actually getting the distance. It looks like Eagle's going to go first here. A little curious. I don't know if he's longer away from the hole or if he's just more ready to play.
And of course, OB behind the basket, so you're going to want to come in short and skip up to it. He's done exactly that. As these guys are finishing out on 15, I'm already thinking ahead to the hill on 16. We'll talk more about that in a moment. This is Simon Lizotte with a putter. Stand still from Lizotte. That's not going to skip much. He gets past the tree. He'll have a putt from there. Solid shot. And Nate, what I was mentioning is the hillside on hole number 16. I've seen Rune tournament rounds out here. Nico LaCastro a few years ago famously putting on hole 16, watching it get up and roll all the way down the hill, OB behind him, and then he throws up another putt, hits metal, and rolls back behind him, OB again, ending his run at winning the Memorial that particular year. So barring anything crazy on 16, Lizotte should have this on lockdown.
Yeah, we do want to say that, that we believe in Simon at this point. It looks like his game is coming together. But as you said, there's a little bit of trickiness still coming for us in these last three holes. We're not gonna give it to anybody just yet. Of course, we don't want to give that commentator curse to anybody at this point in time. But I think you make another fine point, Terry. That hill on 16 is something to think about. But Simon is just gonna. If I have my crystal ball, I think we see 3 birdies on the last 3 holes from him.
And Sexton from the same distance he just missed from on the previous hole. He gets that one in. That's going to be to save the par if he was in fact OB as we thought we were shown. James Conrad quickly getting up. Not the day we would expect from James Conrad. Graciously handling it though throughout this round. It's been very difficult. And Lizotte, a little bit light on that one, but sneaks it over. We're going to see a couple of birdies here. We'll see you on 16, which is 3 to play for the championship.
The Dynamic Disc Recruit is a tournament quality basket at a practice level price. The Recruit is the ultimate basket for backyard practice or temporary courses. Get ready for tournaments. Get better. Get the Recruit. And Lizotte throwing the same disc we saw him trick us with back on hole number 12. And it scoots up by the road. Nobody's going to give us a call up there. Nothing is said. We're believing that it's safe. Yes, finally a safe call. He's going to have a little work to do just to sit that one down by the basket, because that's going to be a difficult putt.
If he is indeed safe, that is extremely lucky. We saw people making that call, but we don't know for sure.
He is in fact safe, we're getting from the catch cam, as Eagle takes a huge skip. It's got to sit down as well. That gets up and roll. Will he play it off the tire as Lizotte did yesterday? And it
is OB. That is going to definitely be OB. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Wow.
I expect to see a very low skip shot forehand, and that's exactly what Sexton's doing. Now the question is, will it sit down? It's going to curl around, and he's at circle's edge or just inside it for the putt. James Conrad's going to control the angle here. I think that's going to hit and slide up to the pin. Let's see how the women did back on 16.
Pierce with a 13-stroke advantage. Jessica Weiss and Lisa Fakis are thinking about second place. Will they tie or take sole possession of it? And a misfire by Pierce. I told you she doesn't like pars. She'll have to make a long one to get her par here. And a great turnover. Jen Allen right up the middle. Great angle. She parks it. Paige fighting for the par. She'll be tapping in. That's going to be a bogey on 16. Jen Allen, less than 5 feet. She takes the birdie. We're going to move on to the short and easy 17. Pierce with 12 strokes.
Nate, we're moving into position here at the base of the hill, and Simon Lizotte, for the very rare occasion, actually just needs to lay this up. Although it's not going to be easy, he's done it just fine. Simon Lizotte now can just walk this in, barring anything crazy on hole 17.
Well, it's Terry Miller time, and you were correct yet again, T. You know what? That hill became a huge factor. That was an opening for Eagle, but he was a little tight. He played the disc a little fast, and that's why we saw that big skip. There wasn't any misfortune there. Maybe a little bit unlucky. Here goes Nate.
And Nate doesn't draw any metal as that's high and right. He's facing a little bit of a headwind from there.
Sometimes, Terry, when we've been playing in a 4-round tournament, the pressure is mounting. You can just tell that Nate is a little bit dejected at the moment after the last couple of holes. He's just feeling a little, maybe tired, maybe just wanting to see the end of this round come as quick as possible.
And Eagle is able to save the 3.
That is very important what just happened, because that still puts it 2 strokes with 2 holes to play. And while we've been saying a lot of nice things about Simon, there's a lot that can happen in these 2 holes. We have out of bounds on both of them, so let's not give it to him just yet. But I think that was the moment for Eagle, and just unfortunately that disc had too much speed going up the hill.
And as I look at the Disc Golf Pro Tour trailer, I'd like to send a shout out to Patrick, the new driver, as he'll be traveling around the country this year. James Conrad lining up for birdie. And Conrad is able to convert. I'd like to thank Seth Fenley, along with Matt and Josh at UDisc, and the enormous efforts by all of the Pro Tour and the Memorial Championships. We'll see you on 17.
Tempercraft USA. Double-walled 18/8 stainless steel construction keeps it cold while you're hot, keeps it hot while you're cold. Get your customized growlers, tumblers, and sports bottles. With a lifetime warranty and 1% back to the planet. Tempercraft USA. Temper your thirst.
Oh hey, are you guys looking for a disc that flies pretty straight? I would recommend the Avenger SS. I really like this disc because it's a nice straight fairway driver. What I would recommend for anybody looking for a nice straight drive is a disc that's slightly understable, where you can throw it out at a hyzer flip, let it fly, but it's still gonna come back. If you try and throw anything that's overstable, you're gonna have to crank it.
Turnover putter by James Conrad. He's going to play this to the elevated pin, and that checks up nicely.
Just so that we're still talking about the golf, I find that to be an interesting shot. I don't know why he threw a turnover into a hill there, but it worked out okay for him. Here goes the leader, Simon Lizotte. I have to mention that looking around, I see a lot of players starting to gather. Simon is one of the favorites out here on tour. Great kid, always a good, entertaining guy, parks that shot. Maybe that's enough for him at this point in time. We still have to see that tee shot on 18. He needs to keep it in bounds, but it's been a great day out here. I've enjoyed it. I know all the fans have too. Huh, T-Dog?
I think Simon Lizotte has taken any question out of that by parking it. He knows he'll have an easy tap in. That won't be any stress moving into this final hole. Like you said, he puts it inbounds on 18, and he's got this one. Sexton playing it low with the forehand into the side of the hill. I'm going to count that as a birdie. Let's see how the women did on 17.
Hole 17, Pierce up by 12. Lisa and Jessica still tied for second. Lisa plays the forehand short outside the circle. This is an elevated basket. And Jessica's hits near the same area and also near circle's edge. Pierce plays the forehand that actually skips up and to the right, a little out of frame. And Lisa contemplates, but then lays it up. Thinks that's the play. She knows she's tight on the card. And Jessica says, that's great. I'll take sole possession a second. Great putt. And Paige doesn't quit.
And Eagle McMahon will match the effort by Simon Lizotte here on hole number 17. Simon will have a 2-stroke advantage moving into the final hole here at the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. We're going to see a star frame, Nate. 71 holes down, just a few more strokes to go.
And really for Simon Lizotte, it's really one more stroke to go. Keep it in bounds, and this tournament is his, and that weight is lifted off this young man's shoulder, that knee injury he had. Let's go see it.
Moving on to 18. We'll see you there. Nate, we've arrived at the final hole, what we assume will be the final hole, that is, barring any kind of craziness between Simon and Eagle. James Conrad is on the tee thanks to his birdie on 16.
James, I think one of the crowd favorites here today. He's been a great competitor. He's had some ups and downs, but what a beautiful shot for him. That's going to be an easy birdie.
And really, what we're seeing is the most critical shot of the tournament right here. If Simon Lizotte puts this in bounds, he's going to win the tournament. And he's done just that. If it sits and it's done, he will have a short layup from there. Eagle's last chance is to put this in.
Yeah, let's see if Eagle can throw in a hole-in-one. That was an interesting shot from Simon. He kind of scared us a little bit. He certainly scared me. He threw a mid-range over there, and almost I can't stop laughing here. But, you know, good for him. It's always one of those moments where when you're going to win a tournament, you just want to just get it in bounds. Here comes Eagle.
Eagle needs the ace if he wants to force the playoff.
In the hole!
Oh, and Eagle's going big. That's going to find the water, and it's done it. And now Simon Lizotte's approach will not even matter.
I know, Terry. I know that we can sit back and make all the decisions we want. If I were him, I would have just tried to park that, hoping that Simon would make a mistake and get into a playoff. I don't think he needed to do that. He just took all of the pressure off of Simon.
And speaking of a lack of pressure, Paige Pierce has walked this in here today. You're going to see the final hole play out, a little extra fireworks on the women's side as Nate Sexton comes up right next to the basket. Let's check in with how the women finished out at the Memorial.
The final hole of the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. Also the Disc Golf Pro Tour season opener. Paige Pierce has 12 strokes and decides to let up. Paige Pierce finds herself OB. We'll see if she can save it from there. Jen Allen had a rough day out here during the final round, but she wants to finish strong. Just past the basket, and it dribbles in. She's OB. She says it's the story of the day. Lisa Fakis trying to get a piece of that second place action. Hangs it out wide. She'll be safe. Jessica's safe. Here's Fakis from way downtown and says, I'll momentarily tie you, Jessica. And Paige says, I still don't need a par. They're overrated. Jessica for second. Off the top, she's going to end in a tie with Fakis. And Jen Allen saves the par to close out the day. Your champion, Paige Pierce, for the tap-in in the win. Congrats. Let's get back to the exciting men's coverage. Congratulations, Paige Pierce.
I don't believe what I'm seeing. It's Simon Lizotte with 3 layup shots in the last 3 holes. 16 and 18. Simon Lizotte's actually laid up, folks.
Let the celebration in Germany and in all of Europe, the proud king of Europe has done it, folks. That's awesome to see. I'm so happy for Simon. This is the moment that we all train for. This is all the moments that we dream of, to play in front of the fans that love this sport. These are the best players right now. They've earned their right to be here, and they just need to enjoy this moment.
And Eagles slips out. When the scoring is all said and done, Eagle is actually going to lose 2 strokes to Nate Sexton, as Nate Sexton will tap in, and I think that will still leave Eagle at 40 under par, as Sexton will go to 39 under par, so Eagle will have second place. Not a bad showing for the last 2 weekends, a first and a second, as Sexton taps in.
This has been 2 weeks of a lot of disc golf, and they're happy to be done.
Simon Lizotte will be given the last honors. Eagle will tap in just in front of him. And Lizotte, first person to get the congratulations and hug is, in fact, from Eagle McMahon. Here comes Keith Murray of Spinners on the Green, the tournament director, to give him the congratulations.
Thank you. Back with time. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's head to scoring.
You want to do it now, or do you want to do your scoring first?
Yep, let's scoring first.
Scoring first. That's always one of the questions, is where we're going to do the scoring, make sure it gets done. And we're going to catch up. I'm going to catch up here with Nate Doss for a few moments. Nate, it's been a heck of a ride this weekend. I first and foremost have to thank you for stepping inside the Smash Box, as I like to say, to join us. It was a, well, bittersweet, as I kept saying. We're sorry that you have the injury. I know you're going to battle through that. I know you're going to do everything you can to get healed and get back out there. But you may have found a role here at Smashbox. We've talked about this for a few years. How did it feel to you?
Well, T-Rex, I got a lot more T's in the books. I think I want to do this a lot more. It was just unfortunate, the circumstance for me, but you know what? Right now, it's not about me. It's about these players right here. This is the future of disc golf, and I'm so proud to see that the way that they handled themselves. It's really just amazing. It's really nice for me to be able to not be involved in the competition. I would have loved to have been in this group today, but I would not have even noticed what these two were doing. But so to sit back today and watch what they did, and the way to see that James Conrad acted, and of course Nate Sexton being now the veteran, you know, it's really just been a pleasure.
Well, the consummate professionals, every one of them were today. They all had their ups, they all had their downs, a few struggles, a few great shots, a few bad breaks, but every one of them handled them gracefully, and that's what was great to see. 4 of the nicest guys you'll find in disc golf, and to have the sun shining us in Scottsdale, Arizona, to be opening up the 2018 Disc Golf Pro Tour, along with the support of Discraft and all the Pro Tour's additional supporters and partners. It's been an amazing day. What we're going to do is I think we're going to stand down for a few minutes. I'll give you a parting shot. Then we'll stand down, maybe give you some highlights, and then we'll catch up with our champion, Simon Lizotte. He's always entertaining. I'm sure you have a few words. Go ahead and send yourself off. What do you got?
Well, I just want to congratulate the pride of Bremen, Germany, everybody back in Europe. Your boy did it. He did a great job. He really just proved that he is one of the best players in the world, and that injury that he sustained last year or even 2 years ago but had to deal with last year means nothing anymore. Simon Lizotte is back on the scene. I'm happy to see it. I've had a blast, T-Dog. Terry Miller, good buddy of mine. It's been awesome. And I really look forward to coming back stronger, but I really look forward to seeing where the rest of the Pro Tour, kind of these next few events, let's see what they bring us if these two kids can continue to stay at the top. But this was the end of 2 weeks of disc golf, and really they are going to take a couple of days, relax. I'm sure the beers will be flowing, within reason, of course. So we are professionals, but it's been a blast. Thank you to Mother Nature for gracing us with this beautiful weather. Thank you to all the sponsors, and thank you to you and your entire team for allowing me to be a part of this.
Well, we appreciate it. You're welcome anytime. Thanks for everything you provided for us. Thanks for carrying my weight around on the course the last few days. We appreciate that. So we'll give you some highlights, and then we'll catch up with Simon Lizotte. We'll see you then.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job. Go in. Oh.
For me, it's all about the exercise.
For me, it fits into my busy lifestyle.
For me, it's my passion.
For us, it doesn't cost much to play.
For me, it's fun.
Simon with a mid-range right up the middle.
when they get...
How can you be nervous for one full round?
And welcome back, everyone. Joining me now is Simon Lizotte. Simon, we were just talking a moment ago. You said it's only been a handful of strokes that have separated you from winning this tournament over the last few years.
Yeah.
What was the difference this year?
The difference is the other players did worse than me.
All right, I guess that's a good way to do it. You're 43 under par. How do you feel like your performance was?
It was a mix between skill and just things were going my way. Like yesterday, I noticed that so much, and it just felt like I could not lose no matter what I did. And today, the other guys had a couple bad breaks, and even my bad shots turned out like decent. And yeah, I'm not used to that, and I love it.
Well, it seems like everything was going right for you. Yesterday, as we closed out the show, you said you really just had one goal in mind, and that was beating your good friend and teammate in Eagle McMahon. But he was the first to congratulate you. What does that feel like for you two?
No, that was great. I figured that if I beat Eagle, then I'm probably going to win, so that's what I meant. No, it's been awesome. He's been really supportive this whole tournament, and of course, his win last weekend was huge for him and huge for our team. And I think we're pretty proud of our off-season. Our coaches are super stoked, and we've done a lot of right things.
You guys did work very hard. We saw it on social media. What were some of the keys to success when you guys were working out, getting prepared for the season?
No beer.
All right, well, that's a good way to do it. What are we going to see from Simon and Eagle in the next few events?
I don't know when Eagle's next event is. It might be GBO. So I'm going to play Waco and Jonesboro. Hopefully I can stick to my form. I have a nice plan for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be hanging out in Massachusetts, and yeah, can't wait.
All right. Is there anything you'd like to say to everyone here, as well as all the thousands of fans around the world watching?
Yeah, I know a couple of people in Germany are probably watching, and hi. I wish it was warmer for you. And thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks, everyone out here for watching, and live, of course. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, everyone. What a weekend. Really cool.
All right. Well, congratulations. That's your champion, Simon Lizotte. He's been right there in the hunt. This year, he takes it down. Thank you very much. Congrats, buddy. Go have a beverage of sorts.
A beer.
All right. A beer, he says. All right. Well, Simon Lizotte, he's going to go move on out. I'd like to thank everyone that was here this week. It was a tremendous experience being part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour as it opened up for the third year, and now here at the Discraft Memorial Championships. I'd like to thank Steve Dodge along with our amazing staff, the crew, everyone that busted themselves up all weekend just to be out here and be part of it. Rick Hushain, along with Matt Dunches, along with Johnny V, Gary to the O back at home, the Memorial staff, as well as my co-commentator in Nate Doss. What a tremendous asset to have. We hope to see more of him on the mic. We'll see you guys at the next Pro Tour stop in a couple of weeks in Waco, Texas. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smashbox.
don't know if you heard me or not, but I was like, dude, please, you gotta put this on. I want to play more holes.
And
I wanted to see
I
you make
definitely felt
this.
the love. A lot of people were cheering for me, wanting me to make this putt.
Get in there. Play.
Don't go anywhere yet. We just wrapped up with the opener of the Disc Golf Pro Tour here in 2018. Dave Feldberg from the Next Gen Tour has a few details that we must get out there so that everybody knows. What do you got for us, Dave?
Well, you know, we decided instead of showing the car this year, we're doing a contest. Guess the car. It starts this week here at the Memorial. We'll have it online all week. And if you can guess the car, then we're going to give you a brand new Zuka car with all the accessories. And if multiple people guess the car, we're going to give away multiple prizes. We'll do a drawing live. We just want to say guess the car, and we'll be on Smashbox to tell you next week what's happening.
All right, well, there it is. Next Gen Tour kicked off big last year. We were live in Fountain Hills bringing you the finale. This year we've got more in store, more coverage, lots of great things, huge prizes, including the car that's going to be given away. Dave just told me off camera I'm getting 2 cars just for helping out. I'm pumped. Let's do it. That's Dave Feldberg. That's the Next Gen Tour, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
One last thing, Terry. Registration now open. 160 qualifiers, all sanctioned. Sign up today. Don't miss out.
There it is. Get signed up today. We'll see you at the Next Gen.